here. My name is Annunziato, and today I am here with my husband.
Once
And
again.
oh yeah, our guest speaker, right? Anyway, I would like to start a series called Inspiring Stories, where you can find encouragement in business, family, parenting, like everything, just inspiring stories to help you jumpstart your work with the Lord, business. And today, I'd love to have my husband as the first guest speaker.
Wow, thank you.
And I think let's get to know a little bit more of him, his background, and what has, kind of pulled him where he is. So I'll let you introduce yourself and tell us more about yourself.
Okay, if you don't know me, my name is Chris. I am from California, though born in New York, in America. I am 33 years old. I'm glad I know my age.
We'll see about
Sometimes I
that.
forget.
I have to remind him.
Yeah. And I grew up in Southern California. And I'm not going to tell you my whole testimony. I'll save that for another video because it's a long one. But I have a mom, I have a dad. I'm the oldest of two brothers. I'm the oldest. I have two brothers younger than me.
Yeah.
3 boys total. I'm married to one wife.
Yeah. Female wife.
One female wife.
Nowadays you don't know what you're getting yourself into.
And I have 2 lovely daughters. Yes, that's a little bit about me and where I come from. I come from a small, not small.
It's not small.
It's not small at all, actually. I don't know why I say I'm from a small town.
No.
From a place called Rancho Cucamonga, California. It's in the middle of Los Angeles and San Diego.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm in the middle. I'm inland. I'm an hour from the beach. I'm an hour from the mountains. I'm an hour from the desert.
Yeah.
I'm right in the middle.
Pretty
of
much in
everything.
the center.
Yeah, in the middle of everything. Yeah.
And now we see you're in Africa. You were born in a different country. So tell us more about what led you to actually find yourself in Africa. Kind of.
Right. This was when I was 22 years old. So this was about 11 or 12 years ago. I went on my first mission trip to a country called Romania, and I went with my uncle. And while I was there, I've never traveled. I've been to like Mexico. I've been to
For like vacation.
Canada for hockey tournaments, but I never traveled like outside of my country, like especially that far away on a plane. So I had no idea what to expect. I just know that I was going to join my uncle and go and serve with him and help in the areas where he was doing his ministry there. And while I was there, I fell in love, and with the people were great, but I fell in love. I loved giving of myself,
Like
and,
serving.
Yeah, like serving, laying my life down, serving, helping others, doing things for others, and there was something special about laying down my needs and desires, and doing that all for the sake of the people that are in front of you, and doing that for them. And so I don't want to say while I was there, I knew I would always live in a country, like a different country than the one I was raised in. But God did something in my life while I was on that mission trip.
Yeah.
And I look back at it now and I say it's confirmation, because there was something special about that trip, So knowing that, I knew, okay, I went through the stuff I went through, which I'll talk about another time. But when I finally started back on my walk with the Lord again, I knew, okay, God, I knew you always called me to live overseas, live in a different country. How do I do that? And God opened the door for me to join a missionary school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what brought me to Africa. I went to another country and then I came back, and then they sent me to Kenya first.
Yeah.
So that's what brought me to. I went through that school, but it was God kind of giving me those small.
Like little steps.
Yeah, those like small victories, small confirmation on the way,
Okay.
and which led me up to. Yeah.
Now, when you went to Cambodia, were you a Christian then?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I went through a missionary school which sends people all around the world. And so they send people to different parts of the world, and I ended up in Cambodia, which is in Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
And then I felt called to come back and serve with the ministry, and they sent me in a leadership position to lead in Kenya. And we would serve
which you
interns.
finally
Yeah,
had,
so
right?
like people that joined the school, when they would get sent onto the field, I was in charge of them while they're on the field for their time. I was like the field leader, or the field whatever.
Like the
Yeah.
leader of the team that was here.
Pretty much, exactly.
Okay, so
Yeah.
when you were doing that, what skills do you think you mainly got from that place that have helped you
Right.
in your life right now?
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing, most of the people I worked with, and most of the people that I was, discipling and mentoring, were youth,
Yeah.
So when I came back and was working with this ministry, most of the youth there were like 19, 20, 21, 22, me being 30, I was 31, 30, around that age.
Yeah.
So I learned how to adapt to, because it's a whole different lifestyle.
It's a different
We're 10 years,
setup.
some 15 years apart, so they were raised in a completely different generation than me. And so I learned how to, how to talk with them, you know what I mean, how to encourage them, talk with them. I learned a lot of communication skills during that time.
Oh, yeah.
I learned a lot of how to disciple during that time. I learned a lot how to mentor youth during that time. And so not like hands-on type skills,
Like skill,
woodwork,
like
not
professional
that,
skills.
Not like that,
would-
but like I would definitely say the skills that I learned were how to minister and talk and disciple, mentor
Yeah.
people, right? That was the hugest thing, and that kind of what it brings to what I'm doing now,
Yeah.
right? So it really helped me along the way
To get you to where you
yeah,
are.
to prepare me for where I'm at now,
Yeah.
So it was really, God always uses, even though it might look like something small,
Yeah.
so a lot of us would look at like,
God trusts you with the small so he can give you the big.
exactly. Sometimes we look at these people that have like big business, big ministry, big churches, right? And we always want that. You know what I mean? Like,
Without saying the small that
yeah,
it
but
did.
exactly. You also have to understand that those people also went through their small things at some point.
Yeah.
So we all have to go through those small little seasons, those small victories to get. You can't go from A.
You can go from 1 to 10 without
Yeah, you
going
have to
through.
go through 2, 3, 4, 5. You have to, exactly.
Yeah.
And so I learned so much along the way. Some little, I learned some big.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot for sure.
And now using the things that you learned in that season and get you to where you are. Maybe you tell us more about where you are right now and how you were prepared and how you got to that place where you are right now.
Right. Well, like I said, I always God always knew what I was supposed to do. You know what I mean? He has
Yeah.
a plan for our lives, right? But sometimes we take our own way, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes we think we can do it on
We
our
think
own.
we're smarter.
Yeah. But I definitely would say over the years, God was just preparing me, teaching me, you know what I mean? Teaching me how to serve, teaching me how to be humble, teaching me how to. I always knew one day I would be a leader, right?
I mean, being a firstborn in itself is.
Well, yeah, that too. Being the firstborn, and I think just God gave me that gift of that.
Of leadership.
Just of leadership and how to lead. Not in a boastful way, but we all know what our gifts are and talents are.
Oh, yeah.
Some people have talents in photography. Some people have talents in sports. Some people have talents in computer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I always knew that I was going to be a leader at some point.
Yeah.
But I've heard a pastor, or I don't know if it was a pastor or I forgot a quote, but the best leaders were first the best followers.
Oh,
That
yeah.
makes sense?
Yeah. Everyone,
So-
everyone needs an Eli
Yeah.
to be your mentor to guide you through.
Exactly. And so if you can't follow, right, if you can't follow someone, you're not going to be able to lead someone.
Yeah.
right? And so when I was with this ministry, I just learned how to follow, right? Follow, follow, follow. Faithful in little things, faithful in little things, faithful in the little things. And then God kept giving me more and more and more, right?
Yeah.
And so learning those things were so, like, yeah, I couldn't pay for those things, right? Because you just learn them as day to day.
It's impactful as you do
Yeah,
it.
you
as
just
you
learn it
serve.
day to day. You know what I mean? You wake up that morning, you don't know what you're gonna do. You just follow, you serve, and God teaches you that. You know what I mean? And those things are so valuable today of where I'm at, because I now get to share those things that I learned, right? Share those things that people taught me that were ahead of me,
Yeah.
or my leaders. Now I can now share those things with the people not now that are following me.
Under your leadership.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was so impactful those times of me following and me serving, you know, because now I get to use those things, you know, whether it's a testimony, whether it's at a teaching moment, whether now to show them, hey, like I've been there. So it was very, very impactful. Very impactful.
So what exactly do you do right now? Like, what is your center of purpose or doing where you're serving?
Right. Good question. I do a lot. But I will say the main thing, I won't get in much detail, but it's long.
Oh yeah.
But we work with youth, right? And youth ranging from 12, and we have some young adults ranging up to 30 years old, 35 years old, right?
Yeah.
And so God gave me this vision of having somewhere like a center.
Like a community
Like
center?
a community center, because the best way I was discipled, the best way I learned wasn't by like do this, do this, do this, do this. You know what I mean? Like I was a terrible student. You couldn't give me a list to do. You know what I mean? I needed to go somewhere, be free, and then I learned as I see it.
While you were doing
and as I was doing it, right? But if somebody put like a list in front of me, hey, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. You're gonna come, you're gonna do this, you're gonna come, you're gonna do this, you're gonna come, you're gonna do this. It was very hard for me to learn. And so the best way I learned was just doing life.
Yeah.
Like doing life with
You
people
learned as you did.
the people that I surrounded myself with. And I made sure I surrounded myself with godly, influence, godly people. And so God gave me this vision of having something similar to that, where there wasn't so much. Of course, we have boundaries. Of course, we have rules you have to follow.
Yeah.
Of course. But we have a community center where in this one place, we have so many different activities for youth to be involved in, right? We teach them skills, we teach them computers, we teach them so on. We have video games, we have books, we have a football team, we have a farm, we have a Bible study, we do mentorship. So we do all those things in one area. Right.
So it's more like a community-based resourceful place.
It's a community center where people can come and they know when they come through the gates or come through the doors, right? They're going to hear about Christ. They're going to hear about the Lord. They're going to be encouraged. They're going to be challenged, right? But they're also going to be around people that are Christ-centered. They're going to be around people their vision is to follow after the Lord, right? Their vision is to grow in the Lord, right? And that's our main focus there. That's what we're trying to do.
So now that you know all these things and we know what you're doing, what is an encouragement for someone out there who hasn't found their purpose?
Right.
An encouragement maybe from your testimony, they're struggling, trying to find out what should I do? How do you encourage them in that season?
Be faithful where you're at. Wherever you're at now, be faithful, right?
Yeah.
Because to you it's small, right? Like I said, everyone always looking to the bigger and next thing, right? But be faithful in what you have, right? Because what you want, you don't have already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what you have, be faithful with that, right? And then grow that. And then when you get to that next step, grow that, But don't look at something you don't have, right? Look at what you do have. Serve there, be faithful with that, right?
Yeah.
And then God will continue to give you the next thing. When He gives you that next thing, right? Be faithful with that, and that's, you know, that's what works for me, and I believe, you know, if you use that,
Just staying faithful.
yeah, staying faithful with what you have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
I guess being content
yeah,
where
being
you
content
are.
of what you have, being content of what God has given you, right? Be
Yeah.
faithful in that, and serve the people around you, right? And yeah, I mean, our Lord came not, you know, not to be served, but to serve,
Yeah.
right? And so
And it
that's what we need to
says
do, you know?
when we get to heaven, Jesus is gonna say, "Well done, my faithful servant." Not my
Right.
faithful
Yeah.
master, but
Yeah.
faithful servant.
Yeah, we're all
So
servants. Yeah.
yeah, I think it is pretty encouraging to know that
Yeah.
with the small that you have, as you view it small, just staying faithful in that.
Yeah.
So we're more than happy to have my husband on here. I think just seeing you through a different kind of like mirror of giving your story out there, inspiring others.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be doing more of these inspiring stories for this series. So you can just be encouraged to see where people come from and where they are at, and just grow in the faith and be edified in whatever you're called to do. And you can also check out our website, 517 Ministry, and check out more of what we do on there. And if you want to be a part of it, to support, to partner, you're more than welcome. And if you liked this video, please share it with all your friends, subscribe, hit that notification bell for a new video every Sunday, 4 p.m. See you next time.
Thank you.